what are we doing?
So hey to whoever's watching, today we're going to do a get ready with me. Because I love this palette so much, we're actually going to be using the Huda Beauty Nude palette for the second time. And we're going to do a more neutral look. This is going to be something that I would wear to work. I think I mentioned before, I do work at Sephora. So this would be something I'd wear if I had like a morning shift. It's not going to be a crazy look, it's going to be something more neutral, and we're going to make the skin look really clean and glowy. And it's also a no foundation look, so it's going to be really simple.
What's your name?
My name's Shelby and I do makeup. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is moisturize. Gotta moisturize before you put your makeup on, especially in the winter. It's getting really cold here in Canada where we live. So I'm just using one by Aveeno. You can use whatever moisturizer you use regularly. And I'm just gonna apply that to my face. Really liberally. Okay. So after that's done, I'm gonna take a concealer stick. Again, this is going to be a no foundation tutorial, so the only thing that we're going to be putting on our face besides the obvious powders, blush, bronzer, highlighter, is going to be concealer. So I have this one by Fenty Beauty, and it is in the color Bamboo. And I'm just going to stick that in the obvious places where I would want a highlight, so under my eyes. Like a triangle shape if you want, whatever shape you want, doesn't really matter. On the forehead. And on my chin. And if you have any like little blemishes or red dots, you can always put some of that on top as well. So, I have some around my nose. And I look a little bit crazy, but we're going to blend it in if I can find my sponge, which is right over here. And what I like to do is mist it a little bit with some setting spray or some MAC Fix Plus. Right now, I have the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. This is the travel one. And I'm just gonna spray my blending sponge with that, and that helps to set in the makeup. And I'm just gonna blend. So next thing we're going to do is we're just going to take a big fluffy face brush, and I'm going to use this banana powder by NYX. It's really kind of old and disgusting. You can use whatever powder you want. And I'm just going to set the concealer under my eyes and on the chin and the forehead. I'm actually not going to use any powder for baking. I used to do that, but I came to the realization that my skin is on the drier side, and it actually hinders more than helps me to put baking powder on my face. So we just set it with a little bit of powder and we leave it for the day. So now we can start with the eyes. First thing I'm going to do is use my Urban Decay eye primer, and I'm just going to rub that onto my eyelids. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just set that with a light eyeshadow. So in the Huda Beauty palette, which is what we're using today, I'm just going to set that with the shade Bare. Oof. Okay. So now that the eyelids are set, we're just going to start with our eyeshadow. I'm going to do something pretty simple and neutral. So I'm going to actually start with the color Secret, which is this one down here. Really light, kind of gray-brown color, and I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush and just start buffing that into the crease. not going to blend it too far out because, again, it's a neutral look, so we're not going for anything too crazy today. So the next color we're going to use is going to be Teddy, which is a slightly darker version of Secret. It's going to be this one here. And I'm going to go ahead and use the same fluffy brush and blend that into the crease the same way I did with Secret. And circular motions. Actually take whatever's left on the fluffy brush and just bring it all the way from the crease into the corner of your eye. Just blend everything out really seamlessly. And as I said, I'm not blending too far out, but I do tend to blend quite far up just because I have hooded eyes and I do want my makeup to show even when my eyes aren't closed. So I blend a little bit closer up to my brow bone. Okay, so now we're done with the shade Teddy. And I'm going to go in for a third shade, and then I think that's the last matte shade we're going to use. So I'm just going to take one of these more densely packed crease brushes. It's a little bit thinner, a little bit less fluffy, more dense. We're going to take the color Raw, and I'm going to focus that on the outer corner of my eye. Don't be afraid to take your time. Blending does take time and you want a really nice gradient. So you can go back in with the other colors until you get to something that you like. That's what I'm gonna do. Sometimes I just like to pack all the colors on first and then focus on the blending later. So now for the actual eyelids, I'm just going to take one of these shimmer shades here. I'm not going to use any of the glitters or anything like that. Again, we're supposed to be doing a more simple look. So I'm just going to take a flat brush, one of these, and I'm going to spray it with a little bit of my Urban Decay setting spray. And that'll allow us to pick up the shimmer shade a little bit easier, kind of turn it into something that's more of a cream shadow consistency. But we'll make it a little bit more intense. And I'm going to use Daydream. It's this like pinky one right here. I'm just taking it and putting it all over the eyelid in that blank space where we don't have any eyeshadow. And blending it a little bit into that corner color. just going to take the fluffy brush again and blend that to make it look a little bit more seamless. The bottom line, we're just going to use the color Raw again. Start at the corner and just move inwards. Intensify it by bringing it a little bit farther down than I'm bringing it. But that's going to be it for the eyeshadow. We're going to move on to the eyebrows, and then we're going to do lashes. So for my brows, if I'm doing a more natural look, I tend to like to use a powder. I'm just using one by Smashbox. And I sprayed a little bit of an angled brush with some Urban Decay setting spray again to kind of intensify the powder when I put it onto my brows. Those look about done. Next thing we're going to do right before lashes is we're going to contour and bronze and all that. And then we're going to get into lashes, and I think we're going to be done. So I'm going to use my Tarte Pro Glow palette. I really love this. It has 4 different shades of highlighter in it, and a contour cream, and a bronzer. I use this all the time. So we're going to go in with the Sculpt shade. And we're just going to contour with it. So a little trick that you can use is actually follow the line from the top of your ear to the top of your mouth, and that'll get you a really nice angle with your contour. So. And stop about where the end of your eye is. Contour around the forehead and the chin. So you can start in the middle of the forehead and just bring it down in like the shape of a 3. So past your temples all the way to where your ear connects to your head, and then bring it down your jawline too. And you can even take a little bit of that and just bring it down to your neck, just so it matches the face.
So what does contouring do?
So contouring works with the shape of your face, just to make it a little bit more chiseled, a little bit more intense, bring out your cheekbones. It also tends to bring out like the highlight under the eyes, in the middle of the forehead. So the darker spaces, whatever you put contour on, makes those spaces look smaller. And that's why we bring it to our jawline as well, to make it look a little bit more chiseled and, you know, flatter down here. So this looks pretty okay so far. We're just gonna end this one with highlight, and then we're gonna go for our lashes, and then we're gonna be done. So in the palette, I'm gonna take the color Lit. We put a lot of warm colors onto our eyes today, so it makes sense to use a warmer highlight. So I'm gonna go for this gold one up here. And just take it right above the cheekbone, right under the eye.
So what's that do?
So this is highlighting my cheekbones.
To make it pop?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's also pretty. This works with your contour as well. So you highlight the places that you want to pop out, and you contour the places that you want to make smaller. Simply put. So you can even add some of this to the middle of your forehead, which I like to do, and a little bit to the chin. Make those areas pop. Of course, I like adding lots and lots to my cheekbone. And you can even take your finger or a tiny brush. Let's use a tiny brush today. I have this one. It's very tiny. And it works really well for inner corners as well. But we're going to take some of the highlight and just put a little bit on the end of our nose. And some on the bridge of the nose. Just to bring it up. You don't have to full on contour your nose if you don't want to. And that just makes it pop. We can also add some highlight under the brow bone, so starting right at the arch and just bringing it down in the same angle that your brow arches at. Does that make sense? Does it?
I'm not following, but I'm sure people who do
no.
makeup are.
And this video is going to do horribly. Okay, so under the brows, on the nose, and we're done with that. And now it's just time for lashes. So let's get into that. Alright, so I'm going to use the Grwm eyelash glue. It's the same gross one from the last video, I promise. If I get enough views, I'm going to get another one for the next video.
Or a sponsor.
Or a sponsor, any any lash companies want to sponsor me. I think I used these same lashes in the last video as well. These are just the House of Lashes for Sephora, Sophia's. Really like them. If you didn't know, false lashes are almost always reusable if you clean them off properly. You just dip them in a little dish with some dish soap and some water and let them soak. All that nasty makeup will come off and you can use them again. Quite a few times. Alright, so I'm gonna take a little bit of the glue, and I like to put a little bit more at the corners because those tend to pop off in the middle of the day. We don't like that. Just gonna let it dry for 30 seconds to a minute, just until it gets tacky. And you can also spend this time kind of shaping the lash so that it adheres a little bit easier to the eye. Okay, so now that we have the lashes on, one last thing, I'm just going to take my eyelash curler and curl them to just blend them into those fake lashes. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of mascara. I have this one here from Too Faced. It's the Better Than Sex waterproof version. So now it's time for the lipstick, and I'm going to use a mixture of these two. This one is by Bite, and it's in the color Glace. And then this one here is by MAC in Plumful. So first I'm going to go in with the one from Bite and kind of line my lips with it. This one's a little bit sharper. It's a lip crayon. Okay, and then we're going to go in with the MAC shade. This one's well used, obviously. And I'm just going to go in over. Blot the excess of this off with a tissue that I don't have here on the table right now.
Oh, fine. Oh my god, I'll get you one. Would a microfiber work?
I just need like a little tissue.
Oh.
Or a piece of that.
That's toilet paper.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I can use toilet paper. I will risk the little bits.
Okay, ready, catch.
Okay. Still recording, isn't it? Alright, so final step, we're going to use some setting spray. Again, I have the travel version of the Urban Decay All Night Setting Spray. I need to get myself the extra large version. That one just came out. I'm just going to spray it all over our face. Shake it first. Ideally in like an X formation and then in a T formation. I just kind of like to spray all over.
This looks very silly.
What? Must be done. Keeps it looking fresh all day.
Looks pretty fresh.
Alright, so that's the finished look. We're going to do a little bit of a close-up for you in a minute so you can actually see the details of what I've done. And that is normally the kind of look that I would wear to work. Pair that with like a really slick bun because I don't like my hair falling into my face. Generally my hair is up most of the time. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope somebody learned something from it, whoever is watching. And see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.